your block or on your blanket. It gives a really nice cushion. And you'll want your strap nearby. We're just going to start with our warm-up stretches just to warm up the upper body. So I want you to bring one heel all the way into your groin and then the other heel out in front of it. If your knees don't touch the ground directly, it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you have tight hips, and we'll work all that out today. There is an imaginary magnet in between your belly button and your spine, a pencil in between your shoulder blades that you don't want to move, so roll the shoulder blades all the way back, and a string on the crown of your head pulling you all the way up toward the ceiling. And we'll begin with the neck. You're going to take your right hand to the left side of your head and carefully bring your right ear to your right shoulder. So if this is enough of a neck stretch, stay. If you want more, you can walk your left fingertips away from you, and you should feel that intensify the stretch on the left side of your neck. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose. Inhale, fill up. As you exhale, drop your chin towards your collarbone, look down to your right knee. Keep walking the left fingertips away from you. So now the stretch should transfer to like the back left side of your neck. Inhale, fill up. As you exhale, drop your chin to your collarbone and just make some slow half circles here. The closer you bring your chin to your chest or your collarbone, the more of a stretch you'll feel on the back of the neck and maybe even the very tip of the shoulder blades. So gaze should be down towards your feet. And then gently roll your left ear to your left shoulder, left hand to the right side of the head. You can stay here or walk your right fingertips away. Belly button stays in nice and tight toward the spine. We want to maintain that active core to keep your spine safe. Drop the chin to the collarbone, look down for the left knee now, walk the right fingertips away. Good, 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, drop your chin to your chest again, interlace your fingers behind your head, start to round your upper body all the way forward, elbows point to the feet. When your next inhale comes, gaze will lift up past your computer toward the ceiling, arch the spine, open up the chest, and then exhale, round back to your starting position. Inhale, open up the chest, gaze toward the ceiling, cow pose, and then exhale, round back forward for cat. 2 more. Inhale, open up, and then exhale, close. Last one, inhale, cow, and then exhale, cat. You can release your head, sitting up nice and tall, finding that seated alignment again. Inhale, lift up, palms meet at the top, and then exhale, big press away. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Nice active reach. 2 more here. Inhale, exhale. Last time, inhale, lift up as high as you can. As you exhale, begin to twist to the right. Your right hand will lower down behind you like a kickstand. Left hand to the outside of the right leg. You're looking toward the right side of your room. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, twist the spine. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, twist again. Last time on your own. Inhale. Exhale out all the way. And then inhale, come on back up to neutral. Exhale, take it to the other side. Left hand behind, right hand to the outside of the left leg. So moving with your own breath. If you get a crack or a pop, those are good cracks and pops. Twisting is also great for digestion and detoxifying, moving things along. Inhale, come on back up to neutral. Exhale, let it go. Right hand plants down, have a soft bend in the elbow. Left arm reaches all the way up and over, finding your side body stretch. I want you to bend your right elbow deep enough and reach with the left fingertips further enough, far enough, so that you start to feel a little bit of a pull in the left hip. Inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then use your next inhale to sit back up. Now your left hand drops down, right arm reaches all the way up and over. Same idea, bend the left elbow enough so that you start to feel the pull in the right hip. 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then inhale, lift back up. Very good. So from here, if you have a strap, grab your strap. You're gonna make your strap nice and wide, and we're gonna take some pass-throughs. So if you know that your shoulder mobility is limited, or maybe you're feeling a little tight today, just go up overhead. I want you to go so far that you feel that maximum sensation. You're like right on the brink of being kind of in pain, very uncomfortable, and then go back down. So whether that means for you all the way up and back, that's great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. We'll work it out. I never want you to be in pain. I want you to be maxed out in sensation. So it's really great through any kind of class to have that kind of body awareness because it keeps you safe from injuries. On the contrary, if you're here and you're like, yeah, so what? I want more, what you would do is shorten your grip. The shorter your grip, the more challenging it is. So this is a great stretch to reverse anything that happens from spending too much time sitting, hovering over a stove, anything that leaves you kind of hunched forward and really exaggerate that rounding. Last full round, and then let it go. So now your grip will become a little bit shorter, about as wide as the knees. Arms come up into a letter Y shape. You're going to bend your elbows behind you. So that imaginary pencil is still in between your shoulders. You're drawing your shoulder blades together so that it does not move. Shaking is okay. Holding your breath is not. It's a really big chest opener here. Take the biggest inhale you've taken so far today. Have an extra sip at the top. Exhale out all the way. One more big inhale, fill up. And then exhale out, let that go. Last thing with our strap, you're gonna place the strap in your right hand. Throw the strap behind you. Bend your right elbow. We want that elbow, shoulder, hip connection. Wrap your left arm around, grab the strap again, and then pull the strap down with the left arm. So the reason why we use the strap is that if I were to have you place your left hand on your right shoulder, it starts to simulate that hunching motion again. So this helps us to avoid the hunch and not accidentally undo everything we just did. And you can let that go. Let's take it to the other side. Strap comes in the left hand. Bend the elbow, elbow, shoulder, hip connection. Wrap the right arm around and pull. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, let it go. One more inhale. And then exhale, let that go. So if you were sitting on a block or a book, remove it. You might want to place your blanket underneath your butt so that it's still a little bit support, but not too much. And maintain that cross-legged position. So right away, my hips are super tight, so my knees start to lift off of the ground because I'm less supported than I was on the block. We're gonna take a walk out with the fingertips. So we want one heel all the way in toward the groin, the other heel out in front of it. This is called Sukhasana or easy pose. You're gonna keep your butt nice and flat. Walk your fingertips away. So the further you walk your fingertips, the more you start to feel a stretch in your hip flexors and a little bit in the lower back. You will know when to stop the moment your butt lifts off the ground. That's your edge. And then when you get to that point, drop the head. Ears should be framed by your biceps. It might start to feel a little intense. You're gonna walk your fingertips to the right. Feel the stretch intensify on the left side. Take an inhale, walk your hands back through center and then over to the other side. So while you're down here, I want you to notice what heel is closest to your groin and what heel is further away, because in a moment, we're going to switch the cross of our legs. So come on back to the middle of your mat, take a look at your feet, remember which one is where, and then carefully walk your hands out. You're going to send the legs out, give them a little tap, get the blood back to your legs, and then we're going to switch the cross of the legs. So my right heel was in first. I'm now going to take my left heel all the way in toward my groin and my right heel all the way out. And if you notice, my right knee is like way up in the air because this is my dominant side. I use it more, therefore it gets a little bit tighter. And my left knee is down pretty well here. So our bodies always have imbalances. It doesn't really mean anything for us in yoga. It just means in life outside of yoga, be more mindful of it. So once you have your footing down pat, you're gonna walk your fingertips forward again, and then notice, maybe if you're on your non-dominant side, it's a little bit harder to get to that depth that you got to before, maybe. Personally, that's where I'm at right now. I'm pretty uncomfortable. So when you walk out to your furthest point, and remember your edge is the moment that your butt leaves the ground, that's as far as you'll go. You're gonna drop your head so that you're looking at your feet, so that's gonna keep the neck nice and safe. One more time, walk your fingers to the right corner of your mat. Feel the stretch on the left side of the body. And then walk your fingers back through center, then over to the other side. Good, take 2 more breaths here. One more inhale. And then come on back to the middle of your mat and then carefully walk your hands back towards your feet. You're gonna send your legs out again. Let the blood come back, give yourselves a moment to adjust. If you're sitting underneath your blanket and you know you have sensitive knees, let's set that up right now. You want the blanket in the middle of your mat where your knees would be going. And then we'll meet in a tabletop position. So in our tabletop, hands are directly underneath the shoulders, fingers are spread wide. want your fingertips facing the top of the mat. They should never be out. They should be straight. Belly button draws in tight to your spine. Hips above the knees. Tuck your toes into the mat. And let's move through some cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips. And then exhale, push your hips forward, look to the wall behind you. Inhale, cow. And then exhale, cat. Take a couple more on your own. You want to exaggerate your cow pose to the point where you almost feel your lower vertebrae kissing each other and a really, really big stretch in the abdomen. And then for the opposite, you want to compress your stomach so much that you feel like you're at the bottom of the crunch and you're getting that nice lower back stretch. So really exaggerate your movement here. Come on back to a neutral spine. This time you're going to take your wrists, point your fingertips away from each other. If that's enough of a wrist stretch, stay. If you feel like you can tolerate more, find any angle between both of your knees. And then move through your cat-cow with your wrists in their stretch. So notice how your cat-cow changes the wrist stretch, or maybe the wrist stretch changes the depth of your cat-cow. Let's just go for 2 more. Last one. And then bring your fingertips back to normal. From here, you're going to keep your hips stacked up nice and high on top of the knees, and then walk your fingertips forward for puppy dog pose. So in puppy dog pose, your hips stay up nice and high. They're still directly above the knees. If your forehead does not comfortably touch the mat, place a block, blanket, or prop underneath your forehead. We don't want the head to be hanging out in space here. Your gaze should be at your toes or the mat behind you. And then from here, I want you to press into your fingertips. So the pressure comes more into your forehead, which is completely safe. Your forehead can handle it. And while you're here in this active puppy dog pose, you should feel your shoulders lifting up and your spine sinking down. When we move into downward facing dog in a little while, I want you to recreate this exact same stretch. So when I guide you to press your chest back towards your thighs, this is what you should be feeling, and that's how you'll know that you're making the proper adjustment on yourselves. Carefully drop the hands back down, walk the hands back, you're in a tabletop position. Blanket can stay where it is, it won't be in the way, we might need it later. Tuck your right toes back, tuck your left toes back, plank pose. Shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, back to plank, hold. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Take your right hand, tap it to your left shin. Right hand comes back, inhale, plank, hold. Exhale, back, downward dog. Left hand taps the right shin. Left hand comes back, inhale, plank. Exhale, back, down dog. One more each side. Right hand to left shin. Right hand back, inhale, plank. Exhale, back, down dog. Left hand to right shin. Left hand comes back, inhale, plank. Hold it here as you exhale. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your belly button in tight. Inhale, exhale, back, downward facing dog. Good, so just building up a little bit of heat in the core, firing up your muscles a little bit. I want your heels hovering above the ground so that you do get a really nice stretch happening in the hamstrings, the calf, and the Achilles heel. If it is too much of a stretch, you can always bend your knees. 99% of your yoga issues can be solved by bending your knees. You're looking at the mat behind you, the wall behind you. That's going to keep your neck safe. Take one more inhale, fill up all the way. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands come to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up one vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. So you'll want about hips width in between your feet. If you take 2 fists together, place them in between your feet. That is hips width. So from here, big inhale, lift up all the way, palms knee at the top, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale at the top. Second one, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. Exhale, lower down. Grab onto opposite elbows here in your ragdoll position. I want your ears framed by your arms. You should be looking at the wall behind you or the back of your mat. Have as much of a bend in your knees as you need to. Nod your head, yes. Shake it, no. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. Inhale, roll up to stand. hands. Last one. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. As you exhale, lower back down. You have two choices. You can go back to your ragdoll position or make a peace sign with your two fingers. Wrap your peace sign fingers around your big toes. The creases of the elbows will spin out to either edge of the mat. You're going to inhale, lift the hips up nice and high, and then exhale, draw your upper body toward your lower body. Anytime your chest is facing your thighs, whether we are here in a standing forward fold, child's pose, or if you're lying down with your knees to your chest, you are stretching out your lower back. Nod your head yes, shake it no. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze. Inhale, roll up to stand. Great, so let's come back to the top of the mat, moving through our first sun salutation. Inhale, lift up, palms meet at the top, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. As you exhale, plant your hands and step back to your plank pose. From your plank, shift your body forward, hug the elbows in, lower all the way down to the bottom of a push-up, hover. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, roll over 10 toes, downward facing dog. So second downward dog of the day might still feel a little tight, that's okay. Just as we did in puppy dog pose, push your chest back toward your thighs, feel that adjustment in the upper back. I want you to feel in your upper back, your shoulders lifting up and your spine sinking down. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale, fill up all the way. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Exhale at the top, just 1 more, then we'll get to it. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, hands to shins, flatten out the back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank. Move through your vinyasa or just come right to downward dog, your choice. Upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog. If downward dog is not a place of rest for you, you can absolutely take child's pose. Not a problem at all. If you need to spend the remainder of class in child's pose, that's cool too. Last 2 breaths here. 1 more inhale. Exhale that all the way, bend the knees deeply, gaze comes forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. Okay. So if you have sensitive knees, now's a good time to have your blanket out in front of you. We're actually in the middle of your mat. Your left foot will stay forward. We're going to take a big step back with the right foot. So we're working on the glutes today. I want you to lower your right knee down, and if you had a blanket, it would land right on the mat. You are going to drop your tailbone to the ground, so there should not be an arch in the spine. I want you to push your hips forward, draw your tailbone to the ground. Automatically, you should start to feel a pretty big hip stretch in the left, and then you're just going to gently shift your weight forward, avoiding that arch in the spine, and then lift up for a low lunge. Good. From your low lunge, you're going to drop your left hand, your left forearm to your left thigh, reach your right fingertips all the way up and over to the left, again, accentuating that stretch in the right hip here. Take 2 more breaths. Keep reaching. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, your right hand will drop down to the mat. Reach your left fingertips up, finding a nice thoracic twist here. Your thoracic spine is your mid-back, mid to upper back. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, plant your left hand down, curl your right toes into the mat, come on off that right knee, send your left leg back to meet your right, downward facing dog. 2 more breaths here in your down dog. 1 more inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. I'm just going to switch my view for you. So at the top of the mat here, you're going to take a big step back now with your left foot. Again, your blanket should be directly underneath where your knee will fall. Shift your weight forward, get that knee to ankle alignment, and then drop the left knee down, uncurl the toes. So if you landed with a big arch in your spine, draw your tailbone down to the ground. Right away, feeling that stretch in the left hip. And then inhale, reach the fingertips up, low lunge. You're gonna drop your right forearm to your right thigh, reach your left fingertips all the way up and over to the right, feeling that nice stretch in the left hip here. Only shift your body weight forward if you can avoid arching the spine. If you can't avoid arching the spine, keep your weight nice and centered. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, drop the left hand down, right fingertips come all the way up. Good, 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. Exhale, drop the right hand down. Your right knee will come back to meet your left. Take a child's pose. So in your child's pose, you're stretching out the lower back here because your chest is towards your thighs. Just 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, roll forward to your tabletop, curl the toes into the mat, hips come up and back, downward facing dog. If you wanted a quick vinyasa, shift forward. If you're happy, stay in your downward dog. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Take 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Hands to shins, flatten out the back. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, carefully roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And exhale at the top. So, a couple of props might be necessary for the next pose. We're going to go into a deep squat. If you have knee issues, you are going to use your block at the highest height. So what I want you all to do is to bring your feet about as wide as the mat, and I'm going to demonstrate facing this way. Toes are slightly out, heels are slightly in, and you're going to drop down to sit on your block. So everybody right away, come to your block. You'll know if your block height is too high. If it's too high, you can drop it down a little bit lower. I want there to be a straight line from the crown of your head through the middle of your back down to the tailbone. From there, you're going to hook your elbows in, hands come into a prayer position, and you are going to bring your thumbs into your breastbone here. If you're down here and you want more of a challenge, you can absolutely get rid of the block. But if you find that like your heels can't go flat on the floor, that's what your blanket is there for. You're going to roll your blanket up, and your blanket would then come down to the heels, just like this. So if you're down here and you're starting to build a sweat and your hands are in a prayer position and you are praying to a higher power that this is going to be over with pretty soon, you're in the right place. It's not a happy one, but a very, very necessary one. Our body has the natural tendency to want to rotate inward, and pressing our elbows into our thighs reverses all of that. Good, hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, stay. Right arm up, left arm up. Take an inhale. Exhale, push up, stand. Inhale, back down. Exhale, press up to stand. 3 more. Inhale, down. Exhale, stand. Squeeze at the top. Inhale, down. Exhale, press. Last one. Inhale, down. Exhale, press up. Come on down. 1 more time. Hold it here. Breathe. Reach your fingertips up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands come down, lift the hips up, give that a shake. Woo! No one likes that one. Here in your forward fold, come on back to your plank position. Take a vinyasa. If you need to get some movement, let that go, or come straight to downward facing dog. That was your high point. We're going to tone it down a little bit more. Take note of how your down dog feels compared to your first one. Hopefully a little bit better. 3 more breaths. If you need a child's pose, absolutely take it. 1 more inhale, fill up. As you exhale, shift your body weight forward to plank. We're going to lower all the way down to our bellies and stay there. So a little bit of lower back and glute activation to keep going with that theme. In your low cobra, here's how we set it up. Hands directly underneath the shoulders. Elbows spin back towards your rib cage, so they're like chicken wings. You're going to bring your big toes, your heels together. Squeeze everything from the waist down like you have a check for $1 million in between your butt cheeks. You do not want it to move, that kind of tight. From here, you're going to inhale, lift the upper back up, hold. So my rib cage is still on the ground. It's really just my chest lifting up. There's absolutely no pressure in my hands. I encourage you to lift your hands up, give yourselves a little check. Nothing should really change about your posture. You keep drawing through the heels. Hold it here and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Hands come out in front, forehead to the hands, bend the knees, windshield wipe the knees, let that go. Good. Now from here, you're going to drop the feet back down, bring your chin to the mat, arms come along either side, palms face up. So let's re-engage the lower body, big toes, heels, squeeze them nice and tight, squeeze your cheeks, everything from the waist down, tight, tight, tight. When your next inhale comes, you're going to lift up your hands, lift up your feet, Superman pose, hold it. Feel the compression in your lower back, it's a good compression. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, come up, 4 more. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale, exhale, 2 more, inhale, exhale, last one, inhale, come up, hold as you exhale, 1 more inhale, fill up, and then exhale, let it go. Hands come underneath the shoulders, push yourselves up and back, take your child's pose. So anytime we arch or compress the spine like we just did on our belly, you counter it with a forward fold like child's pose. So we compress the vertebrae together and then we lengthen them apart. And then from your child's pose, you're just gonna make your way to lie down on your back in a bridge pose. So you can have your block nearby if you prefer more of a restorative bridge. If you want to just finish up a little bit more glute activation, you won't need your bridge. You won't need your block, excuse me. You're gonna walk your feet all the way back to your butt. If you reach either side, you should be able to graze your heels. That's how you know you're in alignment, ankles below the knee. From here, you're gonna reach your arms all the way up overhead, lift the hips up. So from here, my shoulder blades, bottom tips of my shoulder blades are off the floor, top tips are still on. Bridge marches, lift the right leg up, back down, left leg down. So just marching here in your bridge pose, your goal is not to drop your butt. If you feel your butt tightening up a little bit, higher and tighter, it's because it kind of actually is. Last 5, squeeze for 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're going to carefully drop the butt back down, arms come along either side, and just give your knees a hug toward the chest. Carefully just rocking side to side. One more little glute stretch before we close out. You're going to bend your knees, plant your feet. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, creating a figure 4 shape. So this is pigeon pose on our backs. If this is enough for you, absolutely stay. If you want more, you're going to lift your left foot off the ground. Your left shin will be parallel to your mat. You're going to take your right hand, reach it through that window of your legs. Left arm comes around. You're going to interlace your fingers behind the left leg. So not your bent knee leg, the other leg. So what that ends up making your body do is as if you're pulling the left leg in towards your body and then simultaneously pressing the right side away, and you should feel a really nice glute stretch. So if you're ever in any one of my other classes and we do pigeon pose or any kind of other class you do pigeon pose, this is a great way to modify. Pigeon is a pretty challenging pose to come into when your body is not warm or if you've got really tight hips. This is a way to gradually build yourself up to it. Take another inhale. Exhale, release the hands, bring the left foot down, uncross your legs, and give yourselves a moment to readjust. When you're ready, we'll take it to the other side. Left ankle over the right thigh. Absolutely stay here if this is enough. If you want more, take your right foot off the ground. Right shin is parallel to the ground. Take your left arm, reach it through that window of your legs. Your right hand will meet. And you'll interlace your fingers behind the right hamstring. Your hamstring is the back of your thigh. You're pulling your right leg in towards your body and simultaneously pressing the left side away. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, you're going to first release your hands, drop the right foot back, left leg gets removed, and then you're just gonna hug your knees in toward your chest 1 more time. So this is the 3rd and final way to stretch out your lower back. We've been in this position 3 different ways today. Our standing forward fold, child's pose, and now knees to chest, all the same. So even if it's the end of the day, you're lying in bed, your back feels kind of crampy, hold your knees like this for a few moments. You'll notice a really big difference. Gently let the knees go, drop the feet back down to the mat, and carefully come on into your Shavasana by lying down, legs extended out in front of you, heels face each other, toes kind of flap out to the side, arms drop along by your side. If you get down here and you notice that your lower back is not really into this, you can absolutely bend your knees. And what I would recommend is bring your feet as wide as the mat and knock your knees together. That will flatten out the lower back. Take a moment to separate yourselves from any distractions, whether it's in the next room or whatever you're doing in the next 5 minutes. You'll get to it all. Take a big inhale through your nose, fill up all the way. Exhale out completely. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Take 2 more breaths on your own. Noticing the sense of peace and stillness that you can create for yourselves, and how all it takes is just to be more mindful of your breathing. This is a wonderful tool that is always available to you off of your mat and in real time. If you find yourselves in a moment of stress or anxiety, restlessness, anxiousness, just begin breathing and counting. Notice how quickly a shift will happen. Begin to come back to a more natural breath. Bring some tiny movement to your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up all the way overhead and then stretch your legs out in front of you. Point your toes away from your body, finding a nice long body stretch. And then when you're ready, hug your knees in towards your chest. 1 more time, give yourselves a big squeeze. Gently rock side to side. You're going to reach your right arm up overhead. Your bicep will become a little bit of a pillow, and you're going to carefully roll all the way over to your right side. Give yourselves a moment to adjust. And then when you're ready, use your left hand as a little bit of a kickstand to carefully press you back up into a comfortable seated position. And you are all done today, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great class, Dani.